Welcome back to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.
Ted, take it away. You're awful excited about this one.
She is back. She's back. We are talking my princess, Lindsey Lohan. I love her. She has fought back. I love it. She is a fantastic actress who did so many good movies, but she strayed. She strayed for a while. She got a little messy. She's a little hard to work with. I think there was some stuff going on, but she is back in full form.
Well, apparently Netflix feels exactly like you do, because I think she was signed to a 3-picture deal with Netflix.
Because she
and this was
it.
number one.
She killed it. This movie is Overboard at Christmas in a ski resort. I couldn't be any more excited to watch that. Overboard is the gold standard for romantic comedies. I mean, I have referenced Overboard in multiple films that I have written. It doesn't get any better, and this is just like that. Let me give you a little taste of it. Let me tell you what is the title? What's the title of this movie again?
Falling for Christmas.
Falling for Christmas.
On Netflix.
On Netflix, Falling for Christmas.
Yeah, and it's got a runtime of 1 hour and 33 minutes.
Seemed like 50 minutes. I was so excited the whole time.
50 or 15?
15. So let's give what this is about.
This one's all yours, man. This is because I'm going to be honest with you right from the get.
Like it.
I did not.
That's okay.
I did not like it. That's all. I mean, wow.
This is a better written Hallmark movie. That's the most accurate way to describe it. And I love it. Like, okay, Lindsey Lohan's father owns these huge ski resorts.
And her father's played by Jack Wagner, which I'll say was good to see him back on, not that he's been away, but I haven't seen him in anything lately. So
it was good. What is his big cue? What was his big credit from?
Oh, he's always been in movies. Always.
I recognize him, but
oh yeah, no, he's like one of those guys that was always in movies. But anyway, go Jack Wagner. Go ahead.
So her father, and there's a lowly ski resort, a towny ski resort run by Nashville's own. What's his name? His dad's a
Overstreet. Paul.
Yeah,
he's Paul.
Chord Overstreet. Chord Overstreet from Glee. And he runs this fledgling little resort that he's trying to get her dad to invest in.
Yeah, and for those who might not know the name Chord Overstreet, Glee's
his big
but
credit.
For people of my generation who might have watched I believe it's Netflix as well, Acapulco, which he plays also a lodge employee.
Okay.
All right. So he's got that down.
He's got it
He's
down.
been stereotyped.
He's got it down.
Yeah.
So Lindsey is like this, very princessy, like heiress kind of girl that like has not servants, but she has like a wait staff that waits on her at this resort, and she has this boyfriend who's perfectly played obnoxious. He's so obnoxious, but I really thought the guy did a good job.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him in anything. And he's a British guy, and he's an influencer. So the whole time they're trying to influence everything. Well,
his character is
yes,
an
his character
yes.
is an influencer. And he goes to propose to her while he's influencing it, and they fall down a mountain. She gets taken to the hospital, and she has amnesia. Amnesia. And so, of course, Chord Overstreet finds her in the woods and takes her to the hospital, then back to his resort, where she proceeds to learn how to do jobs and be a good person and be kind to his daughter because the mother is dead. I mean, it is Overboard. You've seen this story 1,000 times.
Yep, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, Overboard. There you go. And that's the hallmark of amnesia shows of rich girls with amnesia shows. Let me preference that. So
do we think? I think Lohan killed it. I think she was great in the movie.
I think she did a good job. I mean, I think the dialogue was really kind of weak, and I just there wasn't a flow to it for me. Mm-hmm. The acting seemed to be a struggle at times. I mean,
his definitely did.
His being Chord, or
Chord.
Chord. So, I just it was. All right, let me put it this way. It's a Disney movie. I mean, it's not, but it is, in the way of it's shot just like everything you see on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Teenage shows.
Hallmark movie. It's
yeah. No, I've worked on a couple of Hallmark movies, and I'm going to say that.
You think that the Hallmark movies are better?
Yeah, I do. I do. I do. I mean, I'm sorry. I've done a couple of Hallmark movies, and let's see, Reba McEntire, Is There Life Out There?
Okay, now let's just stop. We're talking about Reba McEntire from Tremors. She's great.
Yeah, but we're talking about Lindsey Lohan here.
Right.
Little head start on Reba McEntire in the acting category, I think.
Well, I think that.
So, but anyway, what was I? Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't put this in my category of Hallmark movies, but I would go more like a Disney Channel teen movie, Zack and Cody kind of
My
feeling.
Date with the President's Daughter.
Yeah, something, So what was that Anne Hathaway?
The Princess Diaries.
Yeah, there you go.
I like the Princess Diaries.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, but with not as great acting.
I would say, okay, this is the writer in me.
Okay.
I've written a couple things.
You have?
I think that I agree with you. I thought Lindsay Lohan did wonderful with what she was given. But I think Chord Overstreet did as good as he could do with what he was given. But I think this movie would have benefited greatly from having a comedy writer come in and maybe be like, okay, Chord Overstreet, let me sit down and talk to you for an hour. Oh, this is kind of how you talk. Okay, let me adjust. I didn't notice that as much with her. But to be fair, she's a much more decorated actor. Like, she's done a lot of stuff. They've said she might have gotten an Oscar nom for Georgia Rule.
Yeah.
But she didn't. But I'm just saying, I think that this movie would have benefited from a small punch-up.
Well, I've always disliked any movie where an actress was playing the role of a rich mean girl, and that's kind of what I don't want to. I just don't. I've known some wealthy young women in my life, and none of them acted that way. So I don't know why it comes across that way in film. And she plays it well. I mean, there's no question. If you think rich heiress type girls are itches with a B and snooty and better than everybody else, she nailed it.
I think that she.
And if that's the humor,
that's kind of the humor.
Is that?
I thought it was kind of the humor, but I also think that she's clearly been humbled the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. I hope.
Yeah, I think so. Because,
I don't know her personally, so.
I know some people that have done some stuff with her years ago, and she was apparently just a nightmare.
No.
Just talk down to them if she didn't feel like anyway, I don't know, but I bet you.
So this role came kind of naturally.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. But I think that also she is so pumped to not be doing a reality show about being Lindsay Lohan.
Uh-huh. Which she did do.
She did do a couple years ago.
Right.
And I think she just finally was like, gosh, I look like a real ass. And she was like, I gotta not do that and let me focus. That's what it seems like she's done.
Okay. Well, I just didn't. I saw when I saw the show and I caught on to what it was really quick. I mean, as soon as she falls down the mountain and realized that, oh, great, it's Overboard.
Fun fact: I did not pick this movie.
It's no, I did.
He did.
Well, no. This is in all. I'm going through and I'm looking for shows for Ted and I to watch. We kind of take turns on picking stuff, and I sat down and I turned this on, and I was cooking dinner when I turned this movie on, and I got about halfway through it, and I picked up my phone and I texted Ted. Let me pull this up. You're gonna love it. I think that's what I said. You're gonna love it.
And I did.
Going back, it's been well. Anyway, yeah. Here he goes. Lindsey Lohan in Overboard-esque movie on Netflix called Falling for Christmas. Knowing your appreciation of the work of Kurt Russell, I think a review might be fun.
Oh, it's fun. And not to get too into Kurt Russell, but I'll tell you straight up.
I know my co-host, folks. Yeah. I'm a great judge of character and talent.
You ask any, like, people are like, oh, Kurt Russell, yeah, he's pretty good. You ask any actor, any single actor, and they'll be like, Kurt Russell's real good actor.
Oh, I think he is too.
Like, it's so crazy to me because he's never gotten that due, but like,
Christmas Chronicle, he's great. Here's the thing about Kurt Russell, and I grew up every Sunday the Disney Channel or Disney movie night on ABC, and Eisner would come out and say, tonight we're going to watch the Shaggy DA or any number of those movies. I know Kurt Russell wasn't in the Shaggy DA. He did all those high school or college movies where he ate stuff that made him super strong, or World's Strongest Man, or something like that. So I grew up with all those Kurt Russell movies with Disney, and I think he's a great, Big Trouble in Little China.
One of my favorites.
I know.
Tango and Cash.
I know. Now that was a great combo, actually.
That was a great.
That was a good pairing. I wonder how that really went through in life. I mean, I wonder if they got along.
I think they're friends.
Yeah.
I think all those '90s dudes are friends. That's why the Expendables.
Right.
And they offered Kurt Russell a role, and he was like, "I'm good," but I mean, like.
Oh, they did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're friends. They're all friends.
See, Arnold and Stallone, they weren't friends.
Now they are.
They were, but back then they weren't. But they, it was big competition between the two of those for action movies. But anyway, I put Ted on this one, and I kind of knew that we would be sitting here across from each other with opposing views, because I made it through halfway through the movie before I told Ted about it, and so.
It's funnier because you just don't have anything to like. You're so like you're not trying to rip on it, but you're just like, you just have nothing to say.
Well, it didn't turn my crank anyway. I mean, it's
a real Father Stew for you.
Chord. I like Father Stew.
No, I mean like how I felt about Father Stew.
Oh, okay. Roles are reversed here. I didn't watch Chord Overstreet and Glee. I was first really introduced to him as an actor in Acapulco, which is a series, I believe, on Netflix. Actually, yeah. Anyway, which would make sense since he's doing another Netflix movie. I'll have to look that up. But Acapulco, and I enjoyed it as a series. I didn't really enjoy him, but again, he plays, the Lindsey Lohan character, where he is the son of the resort owner, who's kind of in a management position of that resort in Acapulco, and he comes off with an ego, and he's kind of condescending to people, and so. They've reversed roles in this movie, so
he's a bit stiff. That's how I'll say about him. His just him in this performance, which is all I've ever seen, is a tad bit stiff. So I'm not gonna say that's his acting. I'm gonna chop it up to it being the script.
Oh, I thought he did a much better job in this movie than he does in Acapulco.
Well, I'm gonna watch Acapulco now.
And well, you should. I like Acapulco. It's it's about a former soap opera star. She and her son. She bought a resort in Acapulco, and maybe she wasn't a soap star. She did videos, workout videos.
Oh,
It's in the '80s. That's when it
I know
takes
what you're
place.
talking about.
But I love the series. It's great, and it's good. It's not great, but it's a good series. So that was my first experience with watching Chord, because I missed him in all the other stuff because I just didn't tune into it. But I grew up, with Lindsey Lohan, and
You grew up with her?
well,
Well, you were
watching her
adult.
career, Parent Trap, when she really busted onto the scene there. She did a great job in that.
Mean Girls is a classic.
And when I had kids, I had kids that when they were really young, and I say really young, preteen, when Parent Trap came out. And of course, I watched the original Parent Trap with Brian Keith as the dad, but anyway,
Haley Mills.
is that who? I can't remember who.
When
was,
the original Parent Trap,
were-
Haley Mills was the little girl.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Or Mrs. Bliss from the original, before Saved by the Bell was Saved by the Bell. It was something Mrs. Bliss.
Yeah, I did. I miss Saved by the Bell.
Well, if you were if you were a big fan of Saved by the Bell, that'd be weird. You were 22 years old when
Right.
it came out.
I'm obviously, because of keeping up with Who's Who, are very well aware of the characters that were and the actors that were in Saved by the Bell, Mario Lopez and that group. But anyway,
Elizabeth Berkley.
yeah.
She wished me happy birthday. It was a highlight.
Well, there you go.
My friend used to be her assistant, and so she told her that I have a massive crush on her, and so she FaceTimed me for my birthday.
Was that crush developed before or after she did the
Showgirls?
Showgirls movie? Yeah.
It was before, but it was very heightened after Showgirls. And she FaceTimed me, and it's the only time ever. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I've heard so much about you. It's so nice to meet you." And I froze, and I was just like dumbfounded, and I was like, "I'm sorry, 14-year-old me is just not able to handle what's happening right now." She's like, "You're so nice," and I was like, "Oh." And then she texted me about my engagement. She texted me, "Congratulations!"
Oh,
like,
so this is recent. So, that's awesome.
yeah, this is all admitted in the last year.
What's that service? What's that service that you can get a
Cameo?
Cameo. Yeah,
I've gotten a cameo from Corey Feldman before.
So this was pre-Cameo.
This was a real cameo.
So
without
you were
paying for it.
right. I mean, you were.
Well, my friend Jackie really went out of her way to get her to do it, and so it's cool. Thank you, Jackie Phillips. I appreciate you for making this 14-year-old boy's dreams come true.
Oh, sure.
And she is so beautiful. And she's in her later 40s, and she does not look a day over 35. She looks amazing.
Okay. There we
Still
go.
crush. I mean, a lot of people are Kelly. I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
I'm Jesse Spano all the way. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, you're beautiful too, but I'm Jesse Spano all the way.
Yeah. Well, I was more Tiffany than Jesse, just from Showgirls and Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore. Tiffany was in the Amber Thiessen was in that.
Great Thanksgiving movie.
And
not a lot of Thanksgiving movies, but
no,
Son-in-Law
is
Son-in-Law and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. There you go.
Those are two great Thanksgiving movies.
Right, and Tiffany Amber was the only reason I watched Son-in-Law because, anyway, we're getting off on a sidebar there.
Well, I mean, it's because I'm the only one that can say positive things about Lindsay Lohan's comeback.
I'm happy for her. I think it's great. I hope she's gotten herself around the corner, and I'm not saying she did a bad job in this, but to me, it was not great acting in a version of Overboard, which I liked Overboard. The first one. I mean, Goldie Hawn, I've always been a Goldie Hawn fan. Kurt Russell, I mean, it was good. It was good. And then when you try to mimic something like that, it just turns me off because, you're trying to make something better, that was
Well,
already
you can't
was
make it
already
better.
really good. There's
Like,
no way.
You just can't make it better.
Yeah, so
They tried to remake Overboard. Saw how that worked.
no, I didn't.
It didn't work well.
Yeah, because I after the first one, I just had I known that Falling for Christmas was a version of Overboard, I would have never started it, and hence you would have never gotten the text, and you never would have gotten the enjoyment because you would have just skimmed right over it through the holiday season and missed it. So I'm glad I was there for you, Ted.
Me too. I want us to talk about one more thing
Yeah.
before you, because I know this is a short one because you're like, I don't really care about this movie. But I want to talk about the actor I most enjoyed besides Lindsay Lohan. I most enjoyed the mountain man that was in the ice fishing cabin that her boyfriend finally found. That guy was hilarious.
Yeah, he was
He was great.
He was the moment you look forward to in my book. I mean, so yes, I understand, and Lindsay Lohan's boyfriend in that movie was played by George Young.
What part of Britain is he from?
Tad Fairchild is his actual name, and I thought he did a good job. I'm just really quick into looking here, and I don't recognize anything I recognize the movies, but I don't recognize him in it.
What's he in?
I
mean, he's definitely British, because we're not trying to hire an American to play British because we're terrible at it.
Right. I say that. I thought that was Silence of the Lamb, but it's just a ripoff of the poster. Okay, so I don't recognize anything that he's in there.
Maybe he's a real...
he's got a crap load of movies he's done. I guess just, it's all British stuff that we don't have here. And I'm not getting Brit TV as a streaming service.
Is that a thing?
It is.
Isn't BBC already streaming here? Oh, he was in Malignant. That movie was crazy. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these movies.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was great. I want to see what that...
And you remember him in Malignant?
I would have to... I think he's a doctor. I'd have to go back. I thought the little girl was good.
Oh, she did. She was...
I'm trying to find that guy. Isn't it Ralph?
I think she did a better job acting than Lindsay did.
Oh, you are just rude, man.
I'm not rude. I'm just being honest. I mean,
I'm putting it out in the world. I am going to try to get in the next Lindsay Lohan Netflix movie. Not obviously as a lead. I'm not going to be a lead with Lindsay Lohan, but I can be her... I don't know, the bartender at the bar she goes to in the next movie for a couple scenes. That she maybe like tells me her life story, and I shine up a bar top and I go, well, I think everything happens for a reason. Something like that.
All right. Well, if we just happen to have the writer of the next Lindsay Lohan Netflix project,
please hit me up.
Ted wants to work with Lindsay, and there's no red flags flying right now, no. Either by asking to be in the next Lindsay Lohan or begging to be in the next.
I think it'd be good for them.
You've written your scene.
Yeah, I don't want to be much. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm a Mean Girls fan. Congrats on your comeback.
There you go. Yeah, no red flags as a producer on that one. Didn't see the over enthusiastic fan / actor writing on the wall.
You don't think you got to be a fan
of Lindsay Lohan?
No, just people in general. Hey,
you know what?
I keep it inside. I don't go tell these actors that I'm fans, but Sissy Spacek's my favorite actress. I sat next to her for 2 weeks straight. She talked to me all day, every day.
But there's a difference between having a professional appreciation than being a fan. Look, we grew up in a town that was full of celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went to school with so many country music stars' sons, and would go over to their house and hang out, and we were friends, and it was different. I mean, and I've professionally, I've been that way because when you're in production and you're working with these people, these talents, these artists, these celebrities, they already get that bombardment every day of their life, and I can attest to that, having a resemblance to a celebrity and occasionally getting slightly accosted in stores or wherever I go. Granted, it did work for about a 10% discount the other day at Lowe's when the salesman thought I was that person. But anyway, I just work with them, and I get it, and so I don't think that I get to the point of excited or outwardly, I appreciate your work. I think you're a talent. If it so desires that kind of response. I mean, if I don't think they're a talent and,
Well, I've never in my life been like...
I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying I don't, because we've been around those people.
Yeah, you act like you've been there before.
Right.
Like
well, I don't even think it's acting anymore. I understand when I first started out. I think, my first motion picture was Ernest Goes to Jail. I was a prop assistant on that. And, other than, Napier, Charles Napier.
Exeronius?
Well...
What's that dude's name?
His real name is Charles Napier.
No.
Who was in the movie.
I know, but who?
The warden.
I know that.
Right.
Who are those two guys that are in all of them? Gaylord Sartain?
Yeah.
I love
right,
that
and Bill
guy.
Barge.
Yeah, they're great.
No, they were great. But everybody in that movie, even Tex Cobb, they really made everybody feel comfortable. And it was probably a good thing that Ernest Goes to Jail was my first movie, because it gave me a real learning experience on how to act around celebrity. I mean, Jim Varney, he was huge. This is 1990 when we did Ernest Goes to Jail. And by that time, he was in such syndication around. He's already had, 3 movies going into Ernest Goes to Jail, or 2 movies. So everybody was at ease. And then after I left that, I went to work at Disney, at the Disney MGM studios down in Orlando. And it was just, it was a publicity push of every Disney project through that studio. There were so many press junkets that we filmed and taped for the Disney vaults. And, so anytime a Disney movie came out, the Dick Tracy or whatever the movie was, all those people, Warren Beatty, Madonna, Steve Martin and Martin Short and all those guys, they came down to Orlando and they did these press junkets down there. And I was part of the crew that filmed them. So I learned how to work with, I guess,
It's very few people that I actually like. To be fair, Jessie Spano was Elizabeth. Now that I know her, I've spoken with her, but she is one that I was like, oh, I'm fanning right now. I'm actually fanning out. But I think it's just different, because I did have to act like I'd been there before when I got to the set of The Help.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did. And I was like, what is happening? And I just had to be like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I've never even been on a camera before. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And it was just I literally would just be like, yeah, okay, cool. And in my head, I would be losing my mind. I'd be like, what is happening? I'm going to get fired. I'm going to screw up. But then you just didn't. And then from then on, I was like, every set I went to, I'd be like, cool.
Right.
But yeah, I would never... I think I upgrade the next cast of the Lindsey Lohan movie, if I'm being honest, just talent level.
I think you're a talent.
From her sub, not her, but the secondary people in that movie, I definitely could have been.
Oh,
I could have been her
easy
valet guy that comes up that her dad hires and is there anything we can do for you? I'd love to help you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, easy.
Or
Easy.
Chord's buddy that's working on the snowmobile. I could have been that guy.
Yeah. No, easy. I just, red flag.
Sometimes you just want to be like, yeah, one time I was in a Lohan movie. Gives you just a little more street cred. I'm kidding. He doesn't give you any street cred, but I did think
I'm gathering you do like Lindsay Lohan.
Well, you have not met my fiance, but she sort of looks like Lindsay Lohan, but not redhead. Just
I was going to
facially.
say, I've seen pictures.
Yeah,
so.
just facially, she used to get a little bit. People would be like, "You look like Lindsay Lohan." And I was like, "Well, I kind of have a type."
I have never put that together.
I'll show you when we're done with this review. Not now.
I love
Lindsay Lohan's had a lot of things happen.
Yeah, at first I didn't recognize her, to be honest. And to be fair, the first scene I think you see her in, if memory serves me correct, is waking up in the bed at the hotel there, and she's got the mask on, and so.
I just remember the last thing I really saw her in before her reality show that was like 3 years ago, was that picture of her where she came out and she had those like methy teeth. Do you remember that?
No.
It was like from 5 or 6, it was from like 8 years ago. She came out and she was just like, looked kind of like strung out. And then the next time I saw her was on her show and she looked like this, and she clearly had like
work done,
brand new veneers and a couple of injections, and she looks great. Just
Yeah, I wasn't on the Lindsay Lohan bandwagon, and I thought she was great and cute and funny and adorable in Parent Trap and that, but there was no attraction. But then again, we've got generational differences here, and you grew up with her. I didn't.
Yeah, she's like...
You grew up with Jesse Spano, and I didn't.
She's like 5 years younger than me. I thought she was a lot younger than me, but she's really not. She's like 5 or 6 years younger than me.
Hey, my connection to Lindsay Lohan would be the, tabloid kind of headline standing in line where you saw her with like Paris Hilton or something.
Where the guy that died a couple years that they called Gummy Bear called her a fire crotch.
Yeah.
That's a lot right there. That's some real deep pop culture right there.
Yeah.
TMZ. Well, I'm going to just close this and tell you that I give this 2.5 snowmobile crashes out of 5. This is 5. 2.5. That's how I was entertained. I liked Lindsay in this. Chord.
So that's like a 60.
It's 60. I give this a C.
That's where did you go to school?
This is just a C.
My 70 was a C.
Okay, then I give it 3 out of 5. It's a C.
It's a C. Yeah, I'm obviously not going to recommend this movie to anybody.
Just give it 0.
But I'm going to give it a number. For all those who look at Google and Rotten Tomato and IMDb, my number out of 100 is going to be a 40. A 40.
That's fine.
It is. It's a 40. So, how old's Lindsay?
I think if I looked it up, she was born in 86. So, I did look this up.
86, well, all right, so that would be like 37. I'm going to give this whatever Lindsay Lohan's age is.
She was born in 86.
Okay.
So that makes her 37.
30, yeah, there you go. So I'm not wrong. 37, there you go. That's my number.
That's fine.
Not your age, not your shoe size, but it's definitely her age, and it's a 37 on my scale. I'm sorry. Maybe the next ones will be not so fake, contrived rip-off of what I consider to be a really classic comedy movie, and that being Overboard, the original with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, which was funny.
Yes, it was.
But this was not funny in any means, and it wasn't even sad. It was sad.
Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
And that's why we're here.
But I did pull up a picture.
We are not checking boxes just to check boxes.
I did pull up a picture of her methy teeth before she got those veneers.
There you go. Well,
So look at that. You see that picture of her with the blonde hair?
Yeah, I do. All right, I'm a 37. I'm going with Lindsay's actual age on this movie, and Ted's gone from a
70.
60 up to a 70.
70.
Because he wants it to be a C.
Mm-hmm. It's a C.
That's not a good movie. A C movie.
I've been in some C movies. It happens.
So, I don't. On that note, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. Our new episodes drop every Thursday. From Streaming Without a Paddle, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted. Lohan for life.